Welcome to your new SideQuest podcast with the intention of helping you through the game of life with mindful reframing and awareness as we all move through this journey called the human experience. It's time to level up. Alright, hello everyone. Welcome to your new SideQuest, episode 5. Did you SideQuest into your career? This is Derek.
And this is Zach.
Welcome to a fresh new episode of your new side quest. We are gonna talk today more about how our curiosity led to our current careers right now. Before all that, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for supporting us. Please give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Send a link to your friend if you think this podcast will hold value for them in some way. Tune into our YouTube channel, subscribe, like, comment, all the fun stuff. Okay, so today we are gonna explore a little bit more about how our curiosity led to our current careers as professionals. Zach, would you like to jump right in how you yourself got into your videography and content creating career?
Yeah, so growing up, I've never really thought I would become a content creator or videographer. I knew I wanted to get into some sort of art or creativity field. And in going through school, I kind of had different interests and passions until I guess at some point after my college years, when I graduated, I took on a part-time job as a photographer host. So, like, you ever went to those restaurants where like people would go around the tables and they would ask you like, "Hey, do you want a postcard? We'll take a free picture for you." But then they go up to your table and they're like, "Oh, this photo's gonna be like $20."
Oh, actually, to be honest, yes. I actually took a job like that part-time at Hard Rock Cafe.
Yeah.
Was that the same one?
I think that was the same one. It was probably the same company, which
Yeah.
is funny because they have those in different chains. I worked at mostly Tanaka Tokyo, Tony Roma's when it was still here in Waikiki, and Chart House. So I guess my photography started out with taking portraits.
Yeah.
And that's how I got into reps for that.
I totally know what you've been through, and I hated that job. Like honestly, for that kind of job, you actually don't need it. You didn't need any photography skills.
No, they just give you like a basic Nikon camera
Mm-hmm.
and you just go up to people. A lot of it comes down to your people skills.
Right. You were just trying to sell a product, which was a photo, and
Yeah.
it was more of like a business thing, more of a transaction more than art, right?
Right. And, going into, so I'm going to kind of go into how that transformed into me finding a passion in video because during the pandemic, actually, things shut down and I had my own camera. So I had bought a Canon EOS R, and that was my first mirrorless camera that I was able to dabble into video. So when I was out on like hikes and beaches, nobody was there, everything was shut down. That was my chance to go out and experiment and explore my curiosity with filming like landscapes. And then I've even like hit up like different people too. So I've used the people skills that I learned from my photography job and just reached out to random people, started offering them free postcards. But like I I then just started to really like video because there was something about it that I just liked seeing a picture move. And that's how like I slowly started to like go from taking portraits to making like cinematic video.
Like at right now, like at this point in your career, what do you have a certain like goal to meet or like some type of like accolade that you want to achieve from this video gig?
Yeah, so definitely going back to how I started in, that photography job, there was a lot of it's kind of like a transactional thing where like you have to make sales, you have to kind of know how to communicate with people and get them to buy like whatever it is you're selling to them. I'm I guess I'm trying to like apply that same thing to like my own business because as of now I'm kind of growing my video career to brands and companies. And so being able to have a business and create videos for these companies is something that I want to be able to sustain myself over the next couple of years. And I've been doing like contracting work too, so like shooting videos, just for random different kinds of gigs.
Sweet. So you basically just want this to be like your main thing, right? Like your main gig, how you make your main income, which is great because we always want to make income on the things that we are very passionate about, right? And we have like the most interest in. So like going to my journey of video, I I told a story about how at first I went to pre-engineering at school at UH Manoa. I hated it, so I decided to go into film school, which is called the Academy for Creative Media at UH Manoa. The weirdest thing is that the weirdest thing about it was that I never held like a legit camera before. I never held like a DSLR, and I only held like one of those home video cameras that
Right,
was.
the camcorders.
Yeah, and it was back in my day, like I'm gonna show my age right now. I started with a mini DV tape. It was like it wasn't an SD card or anything. It was a tape.
Man, that's retro.
And I started like back in high school I did projects where I would film my friends skimboarding. And that was like my little step into my little taste into video. But I decided because I had kind of like an experience with that, like creating like a movie in a way, I decided that maybe I can go into film production. So that's what I did. And when I went through my major, towards the end of it, there was a call to anyone who wanted to be a production assistant for a wedding company. And by then, I already had some more experience, like working with a DSLR. I had projects filming with DSLR cameras, so I was like, okay, maybe I can just do this for like some side cash because I was broke and I just needed a job. But then when I got into it, I never knew that a wedding could look super cinematic. Like never in my head could I have imagined it to look this way.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was pretty ignorant because I never knew about wedding videos until I got this job. So that started out of just curiosity, and also I needed money. But I also dabbled into photography for a little bit, and
Yeah, what was that like for you?
so with photography, it's actually a different mindset doing photography versus videography.
Oh yeah, it's like switching on two different brains.
Yeah, I hate it when people are like, "Oh, can you do both?" And well, yeah, I can, but like it's so hard to
Let's
transition
not get
between.
clients like that in the
Yeah,
future.
it's hard to like switch right then and there from video and photography because you're just using different parts of your brain. It feels like you're using different parts of your brain.
That's so true.
And
Like I always dread clients when they ask for that. They're like, "Can you do photo and video?" Like almost as if like it's like two of the same things.
it's not like, okay, I'm just gonna be real clear here. It's not okay. And then you try do both at the same time. It's so difficult. But anyways, like that's actually how that started. My video career started, and then again with curiosity because I started doing like I started doing work with food content with my friend that was doing food content, and then I was contracted by another company who was helping Foodland do things. And like there's this whole idea about being a food influencer that crossed my mind, and that kind of led me to becoming like, how do you say, like a food content creator.
Yeah.
I can't say that I'm a legit foodie because, to be honest, I don't always like by my choice or randomly decide to go out to restaurants and like try their food. I'm
What is the definition of a foodie?
I feel like if you were to put a label on it, it would be someone who would be like so passionate about food that they would be researching online of like the next like biggest things that just like popped up locally, and then they would go in, spend their own money, try it out, and be like, oh, that was good or bad, you know, and you don't have to necessarily like it to post, right? But you could just, you know, those type of content creators, those foodies would, you know, leave a review on Yelp, and they would like put it out on Instagram, social media, and then just say like their own opinions. And for me, like I can't say that I can officially take that label because I'm not like that. I'm more of like the kind of person who likes to document the experience of the going to the restaurant and eating the food rather being like a food critic, you know, like saying, "Oh, this was shitty" or "This was great."
Yeah.
I'm more about the experience. That's what I would classify me as. But I am a food content creator,
Hmm.
but I can't say I'm a foodie.
Yeah. On the topic of labels, which you just mentioned, is a pretty good topic to talk about. For me, like because I was doing cinematic video for a while, I like I would see people call themselves cinematographer, filmmaker, and like all these terms just kept getting thrown around on social media, and like it eventually just started taking over the space. Like people are trying to form an identity of what they do and who they are. I for a while labeled myself as a filmmaker, and I don't feel like I'm there yet. Although that is one of my goals to like start making short films and feature films. I guess I would just kind of classify myself mainly as a videographer when it comes to profession because that's what I get paid most to do.
Yeah, that's the thing with labels is like there's a lot of people who self-proclaim themselves as something that sometimes they don't even have like the legit experience to call themselves that. Like that's why I can't even though I was a film student, I did make films. Like I did create films. I was in productions. I was a PA on like Hawaii Five-O, Journey to Center of the Earth, and I can't say that I I I'm a filmmaker though, because I it's not what I'm currently doing. That I would just classify myself as a videographer. And I think I remember one time when I asked you, I was like, "Hey Zach, were you ever on a film production though?"
I
And
do remember that.
yeah, and then I know that we had a little kind of this little pause, and you're like, "Oh, yeah, I do call myself that, right?" And then we had this little self-awareness of being like, oh, maybe maybe I am more of this than what I called myself to be before, right?
Yeah, I do agree that like the like what you call yourself is something that you kind of have to like be a part of.
Yes, yes, right.
Yeah.
And like to be honest, when I first dabbled into content creation, I hated that label. I was like, I don't know if I want to
Or
call myself this.
influencer.
Yeah, or influencer. I was like, I don't know if I want to call myself that because I feel a little bit ashamed, I guess. Like at the time, it wasn't like a thing, right? But it was starting to be a thing, but I just hated the label. But then like after a while, after a few years of doing it, like I am that. You know, I am creating content. I am a content creator,
Yeah.
and I am an influencer because I am influencing people. Like it was hard to get used to, right? Like the labels. But I don't know. Like right now, to be honest, all I want to do is just do things that make me feel like I'm having fun or
Yeah.
I'm that's bringing me joy.
So here's a question. So let's say there were no labels. Would you say that the side quest that you taken on that led you to where you are, would you say you're you're currently happy with where you're at, how things led up to it?
Yeah, to be honest, like I'm very glad I followed like my curiosity because I am doing something that is fun. Like, although I can't say that it's making me a lot of money, it's fulfilling me in other ways. Like, there's so many things that came from following the little rabbit hole of curiosity. I met so many people. I like, I was a part of so many communities, right? And even my journey with photography, another side quest we can talk about later. Like, I met like all these beautiful people and like
Beautiful woman.
beautiful women, international. I like worked with like literally Playboy models,
Yeah.
and they came to like work with me, and I'm like, I never thought I would like experience that, right? It. I'm not trying to flex, but that was like a cool experience, you know. Like it was just cool. Like although I'm not doing it anymore, I would say that following your curiosity, you know, taking on side quests, it really does lead you to fulfilling experiences and even if you like in terms of career, you know, it could lead you to something that not only makes you money but also fulfills you in so many ways.
Yeah.
Well, how about you? Like, do you think that y- do you are you very are you content with what happened throughout your journey of following this little curiosity of photography and video?
Now that I hear your perspective and your journey, it's making me realize that like some of the choices that I've made in my career, I felt like half of it was because I knew it would lead to something lucrative or it would be a good financial decision. A part of it also was me like curious and trying to explore what if I was really good at photography. But I don't think I would have taken that choice if I knew that it wouldn't lead to anywhere like financially um or making a business out of it. I think it was because I saw and researched online that like, oh, you can make money, you can have a business being a photographer or videographer. That's what drew me in. But I think it's a great idea being able to explore the things that you want to do just simply out of curiosity and for fun, because you never know where that might lead you. And having passions in life, that's like, yeah, that's where the fun is at.
That's where you live.
Yeah,
You
that's where
like
you live.
you actually live your life. Well, yeah, curiosity, side questing. We definitely did side quest into our careers that put us to the positions that we are in today. We are still working towards building something that is stable though and is making us income to the point where it's enough, right? Like I don't care about being like super rich or anything. I just want enough for me, you know, and
Yeah,
that to live and to support like my lifestyle, which is really simple, by the way.
yeah.
Um,
Same here. If money wasn't a factor, I would be traveling and exploring the world and making content from it.
I think I definitely agree on that too. Like, I just want to create and have fun, you know, just have a fun life and document it, mostly making memories, you know, of my life. That's why I like making content. It's a bunch of memories, right? We're capturing here. So, anyways, let's bring it home and let's give you guys and we'll give you guys a little mindful reframing. Your career isn't something you find, it's something you can create through exploration. Every interest you pursue, no matter how small, teaches you something valuable about yourself. Instead of waiting for clarity, embrace curiosity. Experiment without the pressure of getting it right. The path unfolds as you walk it. I know, pretty poetic, right? Oh,
That's deep. Mic
let's
drop.
go. But, anyways, yeah, so explore, experiment. I know money matters though, like 100% money matters. It keeps your lifestyle, it keeps you healthy, you know?
Especially as creatives,
Hmm.
because we don't want to be starving artists.
Right, but like, you know, sometimes you gotta just take the chance, take that side quest, be curious, and let's bring it home, Zach.
Yeah, and if you felt inspired by this podcast to go and explore something that you found curiosity in, and that it could lead to a potential career opportunity, then give this podcast 5 stars on Spotify as well as Apple Podcast. And if you're watching this on YouTube, give it a like as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel. So stay tuned, and we'll see you on the next SideQuest podcast.
Side quest complete.